What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Neptunia X Senran Kagura review video. So I just jumped into this and I don't even know where to begin explaining this one. So it's, hence the name, Hyperdimension Neptunia, with a crossover for Senran Kagura. If any of you know the perverted ninja girl game, there's a crossover between these two series, and I love it. I love it, what can I say? So, I thought I'd do a bit of a review because I played it, I've beaten it, and I've even platinumed it. And I'm really happy I did that. Because the Neptunia series is my second favorite series. The Senran Kagura series is my fourth favorite series of all time. So, this is almost like a dream. Well, I wouldn't exactly say almost. This really is a dream come true when you have two of your top 5 favorite series come together. It's really amazing. I'm really glad they did this. There's a lot of things that I think they really could have worked on better, but all things considered, it's not bad. So I'm gonna get into a little bit about a review and talk about like all the features of this game. So first we're gonna start off with introducing all the characters that are in the game. So we have Neptune, Noir, Blonde, and Vert, which in their respective HDD goddess forms. From the Neptunia side. Then from the Senran Kagura side, we have Asuka, we have Homura, we have Yumi, and we have Miyabi. So we have the leaders of the 4 separate ninja schools. Sadly, none of the other Shinobi girls are in the game. The CPU candidates, as well as IF and Kamba, are in the game, but they're more of what's the word I'm looking for? They're a I don't know what the name of it is. I don't know what it's called. Are the correct terminology for it. It's better just to show you than to tell you. But before that, there's 2 new characters. We have Yuki, the homosexual ninja Catwoman, and then we have Go the Crow, a shinobi shrouded in complete mystery. There's really not much to say about her. In terms of combat, I think all the characters are done exceptionally well. I did have my doubts about Noir at first, but as she levels up, learns new techniques, she's still a badass, as always. My number 1 team would be Blonde with Asuka. But that's just me. Everybody's free to play their own way. So we've introduced the characters. We have the items. We have spirit gems. It's your standard grid-based upgrade for like different abilities and stuff like that. So a little bit talk about what this is. So you have several different types of gems. So we'll check out the different gems. So you have your attack-based gems. You have your, I guess, like your, they're kind of more like your defensive type gems, I guess. Then you have like your healing type gems. You have region-based gems, I guess if you want to call them. And then you have your growth gems. You have your item luck gems, and then you have your kind of like your special gems. So like your specials and ultimates will deal like additional damage to certain types of enemies. And then you have your ninja tools, your ninja weapon gems, which upgrade your kunais and your shurikens, which I'll explain more about those in a bit. Then you have your ninja art skills. Now this doesn't play like Senran Kagura. Well, it kinda does. So you have 4 separate buttons for each character. You get a gauge of 5 bars, and they fill up they fill up on their own, but attacking also fills them up faster, and you need a certain amount of bars to use certain techniques. So, again, we'll get more into that later. And then, of course, equipment. You have your shuriken weapon, your kunai weapon, which you need to buy and equip. These are the 2 best. This is the best shuriken, best kunai you can get in the game. And only acquirable when beating the hardest challenge in the game. And then you've got these charms, which you can equip 2 of. They do different things. So I have Expert Seal, which reduces the use of stamina gauge by ninja art skills by 1. So for an example, that one that requires 3 bars is now reduced to 2. I don't know if it works on 1 bars, reducing them to 0. I don't think it does. That'd be too easy. And then increased ninja art attack power, which is the 4 separate techniques. And then formation, you get to go with a team of 2 characters. So 2 people, 2 characters. Naturally, Blonde, Asuka are my 2 Dutch headliners in this game. I really wish it would have been Noir, but Blonde is just a heavy hitter. And I would feel really bad if I didn't include one of the Shinobi girls in my lineup, so needless to say, I went with Asuka. Honestly, I could go with either 4 of them. Yumi is kinda same with Miyabi. Homura is a badass, but I like Asuka the most out of the 4 of them, so I went with her. So we have that. So it is your just main menu. You can go to Market Street, buy items, stuff like items, gems, what have you, for upgrades. The Kumitsu Shrine is where you'll go for your requests. While I'm at it, now I'm thinking about it, if you go to Yomi Training, you will come across these. Also, to get a platinum, you will have to do all of these. There are 3 floors to each challenge. Each challenge has certain conditions you have to meet. And then after you beat all 8 of them, you get to what's called the Yomi Abyss. That is where you will fight the hardest version of the final boss in this game. And beating him gives you both the ultimate kunai and the ultimate shuriken. You can replay this as many times as you want, so you could get as many of those kunais and many of those shuriken upgrades for all of your characters. By this point, by this point, you'll have 100% of the game, so there's no point in having those kunais and shurikens in the first place. And there's no New Game Plus, so, except quests, you have different quests and stuff like that. You have your treasury, which you can view stuff. Peaches and Cream Meditation. Now, this gets really weird. So the for the sake of it, I know most of the Neptunia fans are mostly fond of Noir, so we'll go with Noir on this one. But basically, she's gonna sit on top of a giant peach ball, a peach-shaped ball, in a hot spring full of cream, and you will... I don't have the money, hang on. I'll have to get some money real fast. And you have to do like a meditation. It's like a mini game where you have to hold the controller upright and tilt the controls back and forth to keep her balanced on it. If you fall off, you fail. If you succeed, then you get like a temporary, like if you look at the top right corner where my two characters are at, there's like a peach effect that shows an active effect. Different difficulties do different effects. So like you have easy, mid, hard, so you get health up, health and attack up, health, attack, and defense up. And then you can also have tickets where you can automatically just be done with the training, not have to do the minigame if you don't want to. But I'm going to give you a demonstration on how this works. Be warned, this is weird. Oh, I did blonde instead. Shoot. So you gotta balance the ball on this line. If the ball goes over the... Now if you get her in there, you speed that up faster. Gotta be careful, otherwise she'll fall off. Believe me, this is actually a lot harder than it looks. Okay. I'm sorry, I meant to do that with Noir. I'm sorry. For all the Neptunia fans, I'll do it with Noir. Because I know people are gonna want to see Noir in this video, so I will. I know I'm doing the same thing over and over, but hell with it. So, hold the controller. I wish I don't have a webcam right now. I hate this music, by the way. It's so dumb. I know it's your typical ninja girl. Okay, see, now I'm falling off. Balanced. Okay, there you go. Alright, for all the Noir fans, there you go. Now, let's say we never do this again. Because, one, I don't have the patience for that, and two, that song just... It really gets on my nerve. Ah, now, about the CPU candidates, I have... Okay, I got an item. Okay, I got another item. So, you'll find... See, there's Nepgear right there. You'll sometimes find Uni. You'll sometimes find Ram and Rom here. There's IF. And then we have Dengekiko and Famitsu. So you could go here, talk to her. I wanted to see you, Neptune. You're amazing, saving the world before I came to visit. I'd like to fight with you soon. I would have loved... I would have loved for her to be playable along with the other CPU candidates, rather than just be backdrop characters. Or whatever, again, the terminology you want to call them. Alright. We'll head to the world map. So, you will go through, basically, by selecting. So I think what we'll do, we'll just do this. So what we'll do is we will go on ahead, run through. I'll run through with my characters real fast so you can see the gameplay, and then I'm probably not gonna do all the characters because that'll take too long. But I will do the fan favorites though. At least who I know the fan favorites are. So Noir will make an appearance, don't worry. Okay, so you have circle as guard, square is the only attack button. There's no heavy attacks whatsoever. You could, so we have, and then we have a jump attack. So you could swap out kunais and shurikens with the left joystick. Triangle throws them. Triangle throws them. As you can see, ninja tools, if you upgrade yourself right, can be very potent. Back attacks always do critical hits. And then, of course, you get shurikens and kunais back. Yes, they do have a charge time, though. Alright. Now, I'll introduce... Oh, yeah, and then we... God darn, I can't remember what it's called. We have... the Famakuzi or Famakurzi or whatever it is. Anyway, it's a mode change thing. You could select different modes to activate for a short time. So we have the forest type, which cannot be affected with status effects. Ninja weapon gauge and speed increases. HP recovers every second. Mountain type is more of a defensive style. The wind type increases the stamina gauge, which is your 5 blue bars at the bottom right there. And skills won't use any of those bars. And then fire increases attack power, but your defense will be severely decreased. So keep that in mind. So I'll give you an example. We will go on ahead. Doing so changes the color of their outfits. Flash flood. Now, for those of you wondering what the trigger thing up there is, a little quick look here. If you look for each of the techniques where it says effect, you have like different effects for different techniques. Now, the important thing to remember is when you look at Flash Flood, it has trigger 3, which means you can only activate that effect only when it's the third technique in the trigger. So I've activated trigger 1. So to reach trigger 3, I have to use another technique. And then, before the gauge is over, before the gauge is depleted, select Flash Flood, which activates the trigger 3 ability. Now we're on trigger 4. So setting up your techniques is also key to get certain perks. Alright, that's enough demonstration with Blonde. We will do Asuka now. Now to swap out, you press down on the D-pad and it swaps out the character. If you press up, you can look at your items. You can use items at any point in time. There's no cooldown on it. Also, be wary, Senran Kagura fans. Clothes do not tear apart in this game, just so you know. And before you ask, don't shoot the messenger, it wasn't my idea. How can you have a Senran Kagura game where clothes don't get torn apart when you're attacked? I don't know. I can tell you whose fault it is, though. Although I think that's pretty much obvious, it don't really need to be said. So I'll just leave it at that. To a certain company's censorship policy. Because, God forbid, they want people to be happy and they don't think people have the right to enjoy what they like. They just want to have control over people. So, sorry guys, censorship in this game. But it still didn't stop the upskirt shots, though. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce Asuka's combos. Asuka's combos are what you would expect from any of the Senran Kagura games. Although some of her combos are part of her techniques, which I feel they kind of were a bit lazy on. So like, vacant seat right here. Now, anybody who's played the Senran Kagura games would know that that's part of her combo set, but they made it as one of her techniques. Why? I don't know. But like the CPUs, the Shinobi girls can change as well. So we have vacant seat, and then we have dual slash, and then we have that's the charge triangle move in the original Senran Kagura games. And then I gotta wait for again, also part of her normal combo set if she's attacking in midair. And that about sums it up with Asuka. So we will head back to the base. I will grab a couple of other characters and provide a demonstration with Noir teamed up with one of the others. So I'll do Noir and I'll go with Yumi. Yeah, I'll go Noir with Yumi on this one. And then when I'm gonna mark it straight. So, world map. We'll go to someplace a little more colorful. We'll go to someplace a tad more colorful. Okay, so here we have a Japanese town setting. Okay, so Noir using size, which is not the weapon I was expecting her to use, honestly. So her combos are pretty versatile, honestly. However, starting out, her techniques are a bit lackluster. But I have my techniques already set out, so we have that one. That's probably my favorite one that she has. which luckily that's one of the techniques you get at the beginning of the game. It's not very powerful, but I still like it. So let's see, we could try out... I like that technique. It does a lot of damage in a wide area. Now, I don't have those kunais and those shurikens for every character. I only got it for 2 characters. And then finally, immovable casket. And that's Noir's way of fighting. Now we have, of course, Ice Queen Yumi. She attacks with her fans. So we have Dancing in Snow, Purity. And then we have this one. And then we have that one. Oh, and I'm not going to show all the techniques because, again, that's just going to take too long. So... that pretty much about sums it up. So, my final opinion on this game, I really honestly think they really could have done better. I wouldn't put this as the best Neptunia game or the best Senran Kagura game ever. But even though there's still some flaws with the game, I really think they could have paid better attention to. The game is not bad. For $50, I think it's a reasonable price. For every Neptunia and every Senran Kagura fan out there, or if you're like me who's a fan of both, $50 is a reasonable price. It is, in fact, it's a perfectly reasonable price for a new game. For those of you who are poor, don't have like a lot of money, waiting until the game goes down in price is understandable. Knowing how games usually are, when this game does go on sale on the PSN store, you could usually find sales for all the Neptunia games and Senran Kagura games for half price. So if you can't do it, definitely about 25 to 30 bucks is a fair price. It's definitely more of a fair price. If you're poor, you can't afford it. But for those of you who love Neptunia, Senran Kagura, or if you love only one or the other series, $50 I think is a reasonable price. As for what I think they could have worked on, the lack in combos is pretty dull. Being able to change out 4 techniques so you can have whatever 4 techniques you want is pretty cool. Each character has their ultimate, which, shoot, I forgot about that. Shoot. I forgot about that. I never did introduce their ults. I'll do this one. I am so sorry. I totally forgot to do the ultimates. Each character has one ultimate. And how you get those ultimates is there's a gauge. If you look over to the bottom left-hand corner, where the character's face is in a diamond shape right there. That diamond's gonna fill up red, and when it gets all the way around, you can use Noir. Hold on a minute. When it gets all the way around, then you can use your ultimate. So I'll go ahead and do some battle with this. As you can see, the gauge is charging. Great, I'm paralyzed. Ow. And that's all she wrote. Again, for the Noir fans, I'll use Noir so you can see what it's like. However, there is a limit to how many of each item you can carry, so make sure you're careful. Although, on the other hand, if you're into completing requests before continuing on missions, you're not going to have too much of a problem. Okay, then once it's done, you get what's called Shinobi Extreme, which is their ultimate. So I'm not gonna waste it on these. I was gonna say, don't you tell me the mission's over before I have a chance to use this. Bear in mind that the gauge doesn't fill for both characters, so if you want both characters to have their gauges, or their Shinobi Extremes filled, you gotta swap and use the others. Ah, perfect. That'll do nicely. So, circle and triangle at the same time. And that's about it with Noir. When you have Shinobi Extreme used, nobody moves, so you're free to... So you don't have to worry about interruption, you don't have to worry about taking damage when you're using your Shinobi Extreme, so it's a great thing to use if you're afraid of losing. Alright, I'm gonna swap to Yumi for a little bit. Because if I could get her up, then... But yeah, combo-wise, it's just mashing square button. That's it. There's nothing more to it. If you feel like you need to get away from an enemy, you can press triangle to use a shuriken, and you'll bounce back out of the way. Alrighty. Ooh, mechanical hounds, okay. Okay, so she has hers. I'm gonna use it on this guy right here. And that about sums it up with hers. In terms of power, they are powerful, but they're really not much to look at. So if you're expecting something too flashy, I wouldn't get your hopes up. Lock on with L2. Dash with R2. Are we seriously not done? Really? There we go. Ow, ow, ow. Alright, I'm bringing Noir back out. There we go. Okay, so that's really mostly all there is to it. I'm not going to get into the story. I don't want to spoil it for any of those who want to play. The language is, of course, English subbed with Japanese language. It's Senran Kagura. They never did English dub with Senran Kagura, which is fine. It's understandable. So that being said, that's really all there is to the game. Please be sure to tell me in the comments below what you guys think of the game. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it does help me grow on my channel, and I would really greatly appreciate that a lot, so very much. So if you could, please make sure you subscribe. And if you did like the video, please click that like button. And if you guys like the game, I hope you'll get some enjoyment playing the game for yourself. I certainly did. I didn't think much of it at first, but I somehow ended up addicted to it big time. So I think it was a good game. I still think they could have worked on some things. Again, the lack of combos makes it pretty dull. But otherwise, aside from a run-around hack and slash game, pretty standard. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy the game if you play, or if you do buy it, you do play it. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.